On Wednesday, Donald Trump broke his media silence about porn star Stormy Daniels, who claims a consensual sexual encounter with Mr. Trump more than a decade ago. Ms. Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, and her attorney, Michael Avenatti, who was here last week, released a forensic sketch of a man she claims threatened her and her infant daughter several years ago, telling her to forget her claims about Donald Trump. Trump sent out a tweet raising questions about the sketch, criticizing news organizations for covering the story. Legally, has he stepped into something he should have stayed very clear of? Let's talk with our friend Trent Copeland, the criminal defense attorney and legal analyst. Did he make a mistake?
I think Trump made a clear mistake, right? I mean, he had stayed away from this Stormy Daniels discussion for a while. He had managed to, I think, against type, avoid talking about it. But now he's completely opened up the floodgates again, Larry. I mean, look, what Michael Avenatti wanted is for Donald Trump to be a part of the narrative, for Donald Trump to reopen this for several reasons. One of which, it keeps his client's story in the news. And the second of which is, it's really important from a legal perspective that Donald Trump engages. And once Donald Trump engages, from a legal perspective, he suddenly is now fodder for litigation. If Donald Trump tweets about Stormy Daniels, Stephanie Clifford, he tweets about her, he says something about her, and it's negative, it's defamatory, it can harm her character, it can harm her public persona, he then can file what he has, what will be a defamation claim, and then suddenly he can get discovery.
Is this as much a public relations war as it is a legal battle?
Larry, that's a great question. This is, for the president, clearly it's a legal problem of extraordinaire, right? I mean, he's being investigated by a special counsel. He's now potentially the people closest to him, his lawyer, who holds his deepest, darkest business secrets, maybe his deepest and darkest personal secrets, is under investigation by the Southern District of New York. But also from a political standpoint, look at what's happening. We're now talking about the president being a part of what could be a crime syndicate, potentially. We're talking about the president potentially being the subject of a criminal investigation, and the president now having to Larry, imagine this. The president of the United States is now in a war with his own government, his own Justice Department. He intervened in that lawsuit earlier this week. He intervened in that issue in front of the Judge Kimball Wood. He intervened and said, hey, listen, our government lawyers, they're wrong. They're trying to get at this information. Don't let them have it. This is the president of the United States, and this is his Justice Department, his own lawyers.
Does he have a case about invasion of client privilege?
He might. It's potential if the communications that he had with Michael Cohen, if they were in furtherance of legal advice, legal information, anything related to Michael Cohen working as his lawyer, yeah, sure, there's attorney-client privilege. Those disclosures and those communications will be protected. But if it's not, Larry, if it relates to him negotiating non-disclosure agreements and being a heavy, him intimidating people, him going out there and politically saying, I need you to make this person do this and say this because it's politically good for me, those things aren't in furtherance of a lawyer's work as an attorney. And those things aren't protected. I can't just simply say, because I'm a lawyer, that everything I say to whoever I'm talking to...
You can't work on a crime with your client.
Absolutely. That's called the crime fraud exception.
Now, since they've raided the office already, don't they know?
Of course they know. They know.
So why are they in court saying, what do we have the right to know, since they know we know?
Well, they know. Yeah, that's a good question. They know what they know, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to prevent them from using what they know. They know what the information is, and they fully are aware of what that is. And by the way, the U.S. attorneys on the record said to the court, we haven't been able, Judge, to fully go through this because we might have millions of documents and digital evidence to go through, so it's going to take us some time. They've got a hint of what it is, in part because they had to know what they knew so that they could get a judge to go in and to give them a search warrant for covert surveillance. So remember, like, this isn't just a normal lawyer. This is the lawyer for the President of the United States, his personal lawyer. So you know, the Justice Department crossed every T, dotted every I before they went before a neutral magistrate and said to them, hey, Judge, we have a very strong inclination, and here's a little bit of evidence of it that demonstrates that there's probably a crime. He wouldn't have gotten that warrant unless it existed.
Didn't Sessions have to know about that?
Well, Sessions might generally have known of the mechanics of what was happening. But remember, Sessions is walled off from the Mueller investigation. And I think you raise a really good point, Larry, that a lot of people aren't discussing. This isn't part of the Mueller investigation, technically. And as a result of not being part of the Mueller investigation, he's not walled off from that, but he would be a part of this investigation potentially. But again, remember, he's the head of the Justice Department. He's the Attorney General of the United States. This investigation was potentially handed off from Mueller to the Southern District of New York, and he may not have gotten a heads up until it was too late.
I've known Donald Trump for 35, 40 years, and he has total self-confidence. I mean, his ego is tremendous. And so he would think, I could sit down with Mueller. I got no problem. Why are they so worried about him sitting down with Mueller? If he's got no problems, sit down. Why he can't ask me anything embarrassing?
Well, you know, look, I think there's a congressman who made the comment, if you don't have anything to hide, if you haven't done anything illegal, stop acting like it. But the truth is, the only person in the world, Larry, who thinks that he can sit down with Mueller and be okay and come out unscathed is Donald Trump. His entire legal team doesn't think so. Look, Mueller has assembled an all-star cast of characters in that legal group. These are the best of the best in the Justice Department, and some of these are lawyers who are coming out of private practice from some of their white-shoe, white-collar law firms to come back and assist Mueller. These are the cream of the cream. All right, so the fact that Donald Trump thinks that he can sit down and he's going to outdo Mueller, I think is foolhardy.
Trent, always great having you. Stay close.
Pleasure. Thank you, Larry.